Welcome to Angie Claud Yoga. I was thinking about tonight everything that we are having to deal with right now with the COVID-19 crisis and all of the social distancing that we are experiencing. And it's been quite some time now, for some of us more than others, but I know that I have been teleworking, as many of you have, for quite some time. And this is, it's playing on our minds and on our hearts. It's just such a different new norm for us. And for many of us, we may very well be feeling like we just don't want to or can't do this anymore. And I was thinking about that today, and I thought about the Bible verse, Galatians 6:9. Let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up. Galatians 6:9. And so I was thinking about that, and you know, the news can be very dreary, but actually last night a lot of the news was all of the good that is coming out of this. And I know that there's so much that is not good, so many who have lost their lives, and people who have lost family members, and people who are suffering right now in the hospitals, and then all of the essential personnel, healthcare workers and environmental services personnel and paramedics and EMTs, law enforcement. There's just so many people who have to be out there at work on the front lines, and they are such heroes every day, getting out there, taking care of all of our fellow Christian brothers and sisters, and we're just so indebted to them. And I know that really they are probably the ones that are feeling like giving up at times, but they don't. They don't grow weary. They don't grow weary in doing good. And at the proper time, we will all reap a harvest if we don't give up. So let's try to concentrate as much as we can on all of the good that is being done, on all of the goodwill that's being shown, and let's try to think of things ourselves that we can do. Praying from home. You know, I hear some people say, well, at least I'll pray. Not at least you'll pray. You'll pray. That's not a last resort. That's not an only thing. That's something awesome that you can do, to reach out to our Heavenly Father and say, Lord, here's the people that I'm concerned about. I know you're concerned about. Listen to our prayer. Help these people who are going through this during this time. So as we go into our practice tonight, maybe we can dedicate this practice tonight to those who are showing up at work every day, those who are putting themselves in harm's way to take care of others, those who are not giving up. They're not becoming weary, and they're thinking of things that they can do, good things to help people and to spread goodwill. So let's think about that tonight, and once again, honoring all of those who are putting themselves out there for others. Galatians 6:9, let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up. So we'll come to that place where we can just be still. Be still and take a breath. Dear Lord, we come to you this evening feeling weary, feeling like we are having and experiencing Groundhog Day every day, trying to find a new norm, trying to create new routines. But we ask you, Lord, to strengthen us, to remind us, as the Bible verse, Galatians 6:9 does, to not grow weary, to continue to do good, to continue to find good. We know, Lord, that if we look for the good in others, we are surely going to find it. So help us, Lord, to concentrate and to focus and to center on positivity and goodwill, on things that are being done, things that can be done, things that we can do. And so, Lord, tonight we honor those people who are out there doing just that, who are not giving up, who are thinking of things that they can do, who are providing care and service and just duties that help our world to continue to move ahead and help our Christian brothers and sisters to be healthier and to not succumb to this awful virus that we're dealing with right now. Lord, help us not to give up. Help us to have the Holy Spirit inside us, giving us strength. We know that our weakness shows your strength. So right now we feel weak, Lord. Help us to not give up. Lord, be with us tonight during this practice as we honor those out there doing that work. Help us to think about them as we move through this practice, and for us to be safe with these bodies that you've given us, helping to make them stronger, not just physically, but mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, Lord, so that we can provide service, so that we can pray from our homes for others. Lord, help us to do what we can, and help us to be willing, ready, and able. Lord, be with those tonight. Be with those who are tired, those who are grieving, those who are down, depressed, weary, ready to give up. Push them, renew them, give them strength. Help them to soar like eagles, Lord. Help them to feel your strength and to know where it comes from. All these things we ask in your precious name. Amen. Take a deep breath and lift through the trunk of the body. Feel the back start to lengthen. Take a few breaths with me, in and out. Starting to notice the body and how it moves, just to allow you to breathe. Starting to be grateful for the breath, for the ease of the breath. Effortless, clean air. The next time you breathe in, allow the face to climb skyward, stretching through the anterior portion of the throat. The next time you breathe out, allow the chin to drop down into the right collarbone. Breathe. Lifting the chin back up. Allow the chin now to flow over the left collarbone. Start to allow the chin to float across the chest from right to left. Working out any tension, any tightness, any fatigue. Maybe starting to come full circle here. One way several times. And the other. Breathe. Let the left ear drop gently towards the left shoulder. Remember, this is ear to shoulder, not vice versa. So allow the stretch to occur down the right side of the body. Breathe. Lifting the head up, allow the right ear to drop to the right shoulder now. Lifting the head up, allow the head to drop towards your back. Feel the stretch once again in the anterior portion of the throat. And then release the chin down into the chest, feeling the stretch now down the posterior portion of the neck. Breathe. Lift the head up, bring your hands to heart center. In honor of all those who serve, our wonderful military, our compassionate health care workers, our dutiful law enforcement officers and personnel, environmental service people, all of those who are essential workers, food handlers, people who are delivering services, delivering items that we need and utilize to live each day. Help us not to forget them. Let's honor them. Take a deep breath in. And as we breathe out, let go. Let go. Bring the arms behind you. Open up through your chest, letting shoulder blades reach towards one another. This should feel good. Lengthening through the spine, relaxing through the legs so your knees are floating down towards the mat. The navel draws into the spine. The rib cage opens up. The chest expands. Now bring the arms skyward, reaching up. Remember, we reach with fingers, we soften through shoulders. So there's never any strain here in the shoulders. In fact, during your practice, there should never be any strain or pain in anything you do. Start to twist to the left as you keep your hips focused forward. Coming into your Ardha Matsyendrasana, your half spinal twist. Same thing now to the opposite side. We reach back up. Keeping the hips forward, we twist to the right. Remember in our Bible verse, Galatians 6:9, let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up. Nice. Release out of your twist here. Go ahead and walk your fingers forward. Keep your back long. Tilt through your pelvic area. Press your tailbone down. Lengthening through the arms, lengthening through the back. Breathe. Walking the hands back. Now I want you to take your right foot and come out to the right here. Take your elbow against that inner knee and just gently press out, opening up through the inner thigh here. Keep your back long. Maybe you need to set your left hand down to balance. Maybe you're able to rest it on the leg. I'm pushing into my right foot. I'm pressing against my inner knee on the right with my elbow as resistance to stretch through that inner thigh. Notice how the gluteus comes into activation here. So maybe your right gluteus has squeezed a little bit, coming into play. Nice. Now take that knee and let it drop forward and twist over to the left. Feeling that stretch. Moving up into the leg. Feel that stretch in the back, that gentle twist. Then coming up, same thing on the opposite side now. So I bring my right leg in, now I step out with my left. I plant my foot firmly onto the mat as I press against gently with my elbow, stretching through the adductors. We're going to kind of concentrate on your adductor, your inner thighs today, and make sure we stretch them out. Tight adductors can really restrict you with your hip mobility and hip stability. So we really want to concentrate on opening and stretching through the adductors, through your hip flexors today. Making sure that we keep those stretched and flexible. You know, we talk about hip flexors a lot, but they are the driving machine of the body. So the more we sit and are sedentary, the more we contract that muscle. And we really need to stretch that and keep that very flexible to have better mobility in our hip. Nice. Now allow that knee, just as before, to drop down. Maybe coming into a twist. You determine how much. Maybe I'm just gently coming here. Maybe I'm twisting a little more. Whichever feels better for you. Breathe. Nice. Now I want you to come up onto your knees. And I want you to step forward with your right foot, having your back leg behind you just a bit, keeping your knee on top of your foot here. I want you to just have your hands on your hip, and I want you to push into that foot, and I want you to press towards that leg. Now if you start to feel knee pain, work that foot out a little bit to keep the knee on top of the foot. If we're pushing here, then we're feeling this stretch in the inner thigh. We feel the activation of the gluteus. And we ease back. Again, press forward and back. If you're working on ankle flexibility and ankle mobility, you may want to work that foot in just a tad so that you're getting a little deeper stretch in the ankle here. But here we are concentrating on that inner thigh. So I'm pressing into that leg, feeling that inner thigh stretch and engage, and then coming back. Very subtle but very effective. Again, helping to increase our hip mobility and stability here. One more time. We come back, press, and back. Let's move to the opposite side now, bringing that leg down and the opposite leg forward. So again, I'm going to press into that leg, feeling that inner thigh, that adductor stretch, and back. Again, press. Remember, as you go through your practice, you've heard me say before, to pay attention to the tension. So you want tension here in the leg. As you're coming forward, you're putting weight into that foot. You feel the tension in the leg. You feel that stretch. That's a good thing. You don't need tension in your shoulders here. Let them drop and relax. And we don't need tension in the face. So as you're moving through your practice, to really concentrate on your face. Sometimes your facial expressions will hold a lot of tension, a lot of lines in your forehead, a lot of tensions in the muscles around the eyes. Maybe even some clenching in the jaw and around the teeth that you're not even aware of. So that's what this practice is really about. Your yoga practice is about learning your body, paying attention to things so that you don't incur injury or strain or pain. One more time, pressing in there, feeling that stretch here in the inner thigh. Such a subtle but great stretch. Nice. Ease back out. And we'll go ahead and come to our tabletop here. So in our tabletop, our hands are underneath our shoulders, our knees are underneath our hips, and we're lengthened through the back here. We lift into our cow, and in our cow pose, we're bending through the back, we're lifting through the heart here, but we don't need to strain through the head or neck. So I can be looking down and instead still really lifting through the heart, feeling that stretch here, your cow pose. The opposite is to draw the back up, drawing the navel up into the spine, rounding through the back, letting the head drop. your cat pose. And then we start to bring this into a flow and include the breath. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Couple more. Inhaling, cow. Exhaling, cat. You can warm up the arms a little more if you wish by bending and lifting and bending and rolling. This becomes very meditative when you're on your own and you're concentrating and listening to the breath as you're moving from one to the other. Inhale, cow, and exhale, cat. Nice. Assume your child's pose. Let your sit bones rest onto your heels. Lengthen through your arms. Press your hands into the mat. Open the fingers wide. Let the thumbs look towards one another. This is your balasana, child's pose. Your core is tight. Your arms are long. Your back is long. You're pressing the tailbone towards the floor with a tilt in the pelvic area here. And if you can, you walk your hands over to the right now, stretching through the left side just a little bit more here. Breathe. And coming back, child's pose. Remember, this is a place we say we honor the body. You can come here anytime you need to. You don't need me to bring you to child's pose. And back. Nice. So we're going to come into our thread the needle. So we're here in our tabletop pose. We take the left hand under the right. We rest onto the left side of the head as we lift the right arm skyward. Your core is tight and aiding you to balance. And maybe you stay right here. You're opening up the right side of the chest here, drawing that right arm back. If you choose to challenge, working in some balance here, set your right hand in front of your face and lift your right leg skyward. Maybe you stay here. Maybe you come back to lifting the arm. If you find yourself rolling over, give yourself a nice laugh and then just come back into the posture. We've all been there. Very much a balanced posture. Breathe. And release. Come back down. Come into your counter pose. Lifting through the left arm. Thread the needle. The same thing now on the opposite side. So I'm going to let my right arm travel underneath my left. Finding that sweet spot where I can relax on the side of the right side of the head. And maybe I stay right here. Maybe I lift through the left arm. Palm to the front of the room. Opening up through that left side of the chest to stretch and stretch that chest. Maybe coming into it a little bit more. Maybe lengthening through the leg. And then maybe trying to lift both. Breathe. Thread the needle. And release. Coming into your counter pose once again. Lifting the opposite arm. And release. Nice. So from your tabletop, I want you to take your right leg and extend it out here. As if you've never lifted the leg, stay well balanced on both hands and keep your hip bones focused to the floor. If you can, extend through the opposite arm, coming into your tiger. Make sure the right hand is directly underneath the right shoulder. Remembering our Bible verse, Galatians 6:9, let us not become weary in doing good. For at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up. Now, if this has become too much and you just want to lift the leg, that's fine. You can just work the leg through this. If you have extended through the arm, bring the elbow to the knee. A nice crunch, tightening through the core, and extend. Again, crunch and extend. Couple more, crunch and extend. Last one, crunch and extend. Nice. Find your child's pose. Stretch through your arms, especially that right arm. Breathe. Nice. Finding your way back up into your table. Again, making sure that the left hand now is directly underneath the left shoulder. We never want to compromise our joints, so always stack them one on top of the other. Go ahead now and take that left leg and extend it out, keeping the hips both focused to the mat. Try not to lean to the right, especially if you lift through that right arm. Relax through the head and neck. Remember what we said, pay attention to tension. If you're working on balance and you're having an issue with balance, you can always curl through your toes, creating a kickstand to help you here, if that helps. And then draw in, elbow to knee. Crunch and extend. Now concentrate here. When you crunch, you want to really tighten, contract, drawing that knee up into the chest, pushing into the hand, and extend, really lengthen, reach with toes and fingers. Crunch and extend. Last one, crunch and extend. Nice. Coming back to your table. Now I want you to curl through your toes and come on up. We don't think about the feet and the toes needing to stretch here, but this is very important. Especially the big toe. The big toe plays such a role on our stride. You know, every time we take a step, whether we run or walk, we're really having a lot of aid from that big toe within the arch of the foot to help that movement. So really important here to stretch. So if you have issues where your toes, hurt from arthritis or whatever, you can always curl, the toes under. But if you can bend here, stretching through the ankle, stretching through the foot, maybe even rocking gently back and forth. Such a great thing to do, to even stretch your feet and your toes. So we don't think about them and our wrists and our hands as much as we do the rest of the body, but motion is lotion. Such a great thing for everything to get motion. So in thinking about stretching through the feet here, I want you to lean forward with your hands shoulder width apart. Lift through your hips, come into your downward facing dog, your Adho Mukha Svanasana. Pressing your heels down. Remember, we always say you don't have to have the heels touch the mat. It's just a place, but we are pressing them in that direction. Now I want you to ease back down to where we were. Rock back and forth gently. Once again, really thinking about stretching those toes. And forward, and lift, press, lengthen. Remember, the weight's in the hands as if you're pushing away the top of the mat. You're lifting the hips, you're pressing the heels, you're relaxing the head and neck. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Ease back, lift up. Rock gently back and forth. Stretching those feet, stretching the toes. Once more. Come forward. Tight core, lift the hips, press the heels. Downward facing dog. Now from your down dog, go ahead and walk through your down dog, walking the dog as we say, bending through one knee. As you bend one knee, allow the opposite leg to stretch and lengthen. But that knee that you bend, maybe roll that foot over. So the top of the mat gently makes contact, really giving that foot a great stretch, and the toes as they bend. Nice. Downward facing dog. Walk your hands back to your feet. Your forward fold. Uttanasana. Forward fold. Allow your upper body to really stretch through the lower body. So we're really using the weight of the body to aid the body to stretch. So upper body allowing that lower body just to get a nice stretch there. Maybe open the feet wider to one edge of the mat and the other. Maybe able to grab onto ankles. Try to keep your back long. If you need to bend slightly through the knees, do so. Remember, as you move through your practice, modify as needed. This is your practice. We want to make it your own. Never push yourself to pain or strain. If you can, marry the right hand over to the left foot. Reach through the left arm, coming to your twist. Breathe. Feel that stretch a little deeper in the left leg and hamstring. Ease back. Wide leg forward fold. Same thing on the opposite side now. Now my left arm travels over to my right. Maybe clasping onto the ankle there. Lifting through the opposite arm, coming to a twist. Breathe. And back. Nice. Lifting on up with a long back, pressing into the feet firmly. Lifting up. Feel the use of the legs, the gluteus. Coming into your 5-pointed star. Hands coming to heart center. Step your feet together. Come to the top of your mat. Remembering our Bible verse, Galatians 6:9. Let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up. Breathe with me in our flow. Inhale up. Exhale down. Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale your hands to your shins, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale your hands back down. Inhale your left foot back and your right, your downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Exhaling, flow forward to your plank, half or full. Inhale, lift to your King Cobra. Exhale, back to your plank. Inhale, lift to your down dog. Exhale, step forward to your forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale your slow reverse swan dive. Exhale your hands to heart center. Nice. Take your right arm skyward, your left arm behind you. Place the right palm of your hand on your back. Bring your opposite arm up, your left arm up. Maybe they grab onto the shirt. Maybe you're able to grab onto fingers. Either way is fine. Lift through one arm, press through the other. Feel the stretch here down the abdomen. Feel the stretch in the tricep of one arm, the forearm in the other. Breathe. And the opposite. Lift the left arm now. Place the palm of it on the back of your back, in between your shoulder blades on your back. Bring the opposite arm up, maybe grabbing onto the shirt, maybe able to grab fingers, it doesn't matter. Draw your navel in as you lift through the left elbow, press down with the right. Breathe. And release. Now moving into a squat position, and we said earlier we were going to work inner thighs a little more today. So a wide squat, a wide leg squat is going to help you engage those inner thighs a little bit more. So I want you to bend through your knees, keeping your knees on top of your feet. Now, if you find yourself getting tired, you can always put weight into something. So if I'm pressing against my legs here, much easier than just hovering here. So whenever you put weight into something, usually less challenging. Whenever you take weight off, it's going to be more challenging. So here, if I lift through my left heel, then my weight slightly shifted to the right. And my core got a little tighter. Much more challenging when you take weight off. I want to press down and come up. Again, very subtle but very effective. Down and up. Much like what we were doing on the mat, but now we're working against body weight. All of our weight going into that foot and helping to stretch that adductor on the right. Couple more. And down and up. Down and up. Go ahead and set that heel down. And then walk that right foot out just a tad more and bend through that knee, come into your side lunge. Now stretching the adductor on the left. Again, if I put weight into something, it's going to be much less challenging than if I hover. When I hover, I want to think about lifting my heart, so not leaning so much forward that I'm putting pressure on the knee. I want to lift my heart and keep my knee on top of my foot here. And I want to bend and lift. Bend. Feel the stretch. Lift. Feel it here. Your adductors. Such a great thing to keep. Very flexible. Play a lot into our everyday activities. Again, down and up. One more. You should be feeling this not only in your adductors but in your quads. Nice. Come back. Wide leg squat. Now I'm lifting my right heel. And I'm perched onto the ball of my foot. And I'm pressing more into my left foot. Remember, paying attention to tension. I want tension in this leg. I want to feel the stretch coming down this adductor. Down and up. Down and up. Down and up. Remember, think of keeping your heart lifted. Drive with the glutes. Press them towards the floor. A couple more. Down and up. Last one. Down. Now press that heel down. Walk that foot out a bit. Keeping a 90-degree angle. I can rest on my leg or I can hover, stretching through the adductor. Again, push from the foot, coming up a tad. Ease back. Push. Notice how the gluteus comes into play here. Push. When you push, you should feel that activated. And down. Again, push. And down. Couple more. Push. And down. You might have already noticed your heart rate's come up. Your breath pattern's gotten a little more rapid. You're using those big muscle groups. Last one. Push. And settle. Breathe. Down. And up. Down. And up. Press the buttocks down. Squeeze the glutes when you come up. Down. And up. Take your time. We're not rushing. Down. And up. Last one. Down. And up. Nice. Marry the legs together. Whew. Come into a sun salutation. Remembering our Bible verse, Galatians 6:9. Let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up. Bring the arms skyward. Swan dive down. Uttanasana, forward fold. Bring your hands to your shins, Ardha Uttanasana. Press the hands back down. Take your right knee into your chest, your right leg behind you. Runner's lunge. Go ahead and allow that leg to float back. Now we talked about how we were going to stretch our hip flexors today. You're doing just that right now. You're relaxing that leg back behind you. You're pressing forward with the crease of your right leg, right where your hip flexor begins. So that muscle, you should feel that gentle pull, that nice stretch there. Doing the exact opposite of what you do when you sit. So we talked about this earlier. When you sit, you contract that muscle. And that muscle staying contracted for too long is not beneficial to the body. It's not allowing things to happen as they should, like enzymes moving and metabolism happening and blood flow occurring. All these things that it's impeding just from being contracted. So very important for us to keep this strong and long. Now at the same time, I'm pushing into my left foot. So again, paying attention to tension. I'm pushing into that left foot, my core becomes tight, and then I come on up. And when I do, I want to push from the foot, not from the hands. Always using muscle, not momentum. Come on up. That leg that's behind you, now you might have already noticed the tightening in the gluteus here. And then we're raising through that arm. So always the leg that's behind you, that arm is lifted. Now I'm really feeling that psoas stretch. I continue to push into this front leg, which helps me balance, but helps me to gain strength in this leg, that good tension. My hands come to heart center, moving into eagle arms. So remember in eagle arms, if you start to move into that and it's not good for your body, if it doesn't feel good, the modification is always to hug the body. So such a much more simpler way to really stretch through the back, through the shoulders, shoulder blades. But in your eagle arms, your hands and arms are at goal posts, so your elbows are level with your shoulders. You bring the right arm first underneath the left, and it's back of the hand to back of the hand, or you can continue to wrap the arms a deeper stretch, palm to palm. Your thumbs fall at about your third eye. Breathe. Releasing out of that posture, coming down to your lunge. Go ahead and marry your left foot to your right. Downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Downward facing dog. Flow forward to your plank. Maybe rotating to the right here in your side plank. Maybe staying here. Maybe you need to set that left knee down. Maybe you can lift the right to balance. Your choice. Ease back to your plank, lift back to your down dog. Breathe. Flow forward back to your plank, maybe moving out to the opposite side into your side plank on the left now. Always making sure that right arm is directly underneath the right shoulder. Again, I can set my knee down, or I can stay up in my full side plank. I can challenge by lifting that left leg to balance or keeping it down, your choice. And release. Lift back in your down dog. Now it's your right leg climbing skyward. Your right knee travels in, your right foot steps forward. Think of lifting and placing. I'd much rather you place and not try to step into a 90 degree, then try to swing it into a 90 degree. We want to use muscle, not momentum. Grab onto your ankle, then make your 90 degrees. Set your back leg down. So remember, we already talked about here, we're stretching that hip flexor. Now on the left, as we press the crease of the leg forward, breathe. Remember tension, pushing tension into that right foot. Remember, it's the leg that's behind you that arm climbs. So now I intensify that stretch up that psoas on the left. And I'm utilizing this weight shift and this tension to help me balance. Breathe. Hands to heart center. Nice. Moving into that eagle arms. Always remember you can hug the body if you need to. Otherwise, we have our arms at goalpost level. Now it's the left arm under the right. Back of the hand to back of the hand, or wrapping further, palm to palm. Thumbs to about your third eye. Feeling that stretch across the shoulder blades. Your core tightens, your navel draws in. Once again, pushing into that right foot, creating that tension. Breathe. Notice how much concentrating on your breath helps you, centers you, grounds you. And release. Ease back to your lunge. Marry your left foot now to your right. Uttanasana, forward fold, your slow reverse swan dive. And your hands marry once again at heart center. Our Bible verse, Galatians 6:9. Let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up. One more sun salutation, bringing the arms skyward, swan diving down, Uttanasana, forward fold. Bring your hands to your shins, Ardha Uttanasana, a tight core, a long back. Breathe, head and neck relaxed. Then ease back into your forward fold, Uttanasana. Now it's your left knee that comes in and extends behind you. Runner's lunge. Now again, we talked about muscle versus momentum. I want you to come up as slow as you can, pushing into that right foot. Bring the arms up. Maybe to your high lunge. Maybe to your crescent, bringing the arms together if that's better for you. Easing back down. Your lunge, pushing from the foot. Your high lunge and or crescent. Your lunge, lower lunge, and high. Nice. From your high lunge, I want you to spin out your back foot and assume you're a warrior two. So you spun the back foot out so that the toes looked at the long angle of the mat. If you have knee pain or strain here, then bring your toes in a tad. But have even weight in your feet, bend through the front knee, but not so much that that knee goes past the foot. Allow the knee to flare out to the pinky, not lean into the big toe. And then extend the arms. Virabhadrasana 2. Think of reaching with fingers, remember, not your shoulders. Your shoulders are soft, paying attention to tension. So we want the shoulders soft, no tension there. I'm keeping the same legs as I lift the arms up and rotate slightly to the right,
Coming right into my warrior one, but also stretching that hip flexor that we've been working on tonight. So you should have felt that stretch as you gently rotated that nice stretch and pull here in the psoas. Then come back. Once again, legs remain the same, arms lift, rotate to the right. Feel that stretch. And back. Nice. Bring the left arm to marry the right. Spin through your back foot. Ease down to your low lunge. Marry your right foot to your left. Let us not become weary in doing good, for in proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up. Flow forward to your plank, chaturanga, down, lift, king cobra, breathe. Curl through toes, lift your hips back into your downward facing dog. Now it's your left leg that climbs skyward. Lift, draw the left knee in, step forward, lift, and place. Remember, place it wherever it falls, pick it up, bring it forward, and then come on up, pushing from the foot, high lunge, and or crescent. Slow and controlled, easing down. Tight core as you come down into your low lunge. Lifting back, pushing from the foot. Noticing balance, noticing strength. Ease back. Once more, lift. And lower. Breathe. Pushing from the foot, come on up and hold. Coming into our warrior two, spin through your back foot. Find your warrior two. Remember, lengthening through the arms, bending through the knee. Knee is leaning to the pinky, not the big toe. Warrior two. Just keeping the legs the same as I lift the arms up and rotate slightly to the left into my warrior one. Same thing now. Back into warrior two, same legs. Really stretching that hip flexor as we come up, rotate, and back. Nice. Once more. Lift up, rotate, and back. Marry the right arm to the left, spinning through that back foot, easing down to your low lunge, stepping forward. Lift and place. Uttanasana, forward fold, your slow reverse swan dive. Your hands marrying at heart center. Balance. So I want you to take the right leg and extend it in front of you. Now, if you know that your balance is a little off today, or if you're working on balance, remember we've already talked about it, a wider gait is much better for balance and stability because you have a firmer foundation here. It's much easier to balance with a wider gait. So if you can, if your balance, if you've been working on your balance and you're able to, in a safe way, bring that foot in more. Walk it in, maybe right in front of the other. So I want you to have it right in front of the other one if you can. Now, notice how already your core has tightened, your body's lengthened. You're really having to think about putting weight into the feet to balance, as if you were on a balance beam. Now, I want you to think about shifting weight. So pay attention. Don't lean forward with your upper body. I want you to keep your body in a nice straight line. I want you to bring the whole body forward. So shift your weight. So now you notice when you shifted weight more to the right, now you've noticed the quad came into play, the core tightened. Now lift up off the heel in the back. Now you felt your right leg come more into play, maybe the right gluteus. Then, if you can lift that back leg up off the mat, maybe a little, maybe all the way, maybe your toes need to stay at the mat, that's fine. And then if you can, coming forward into your warrior 3, Virabhadrasana 3. Try to keep those hip bones focused to the mat. Lengthen through the arms, lift through the leg, warrior 3. Slowly lifting on up. One leg behind the other. Hands to heart center. Same thing now on the opposite side. So now bring your right leg behind you. It's your left leg that's in front. So maybe you have it out to the side again. Maybe you can walk it in. Remember, the closer you have them to be in one right in front of the other, the more challenging this is going to be. So, now I notice my back leg a little more. Maybe my gluteus, maybe even my quad. But then I start to shift weight with the whole body. So not leaning forward, but pressing the whole body forward. Then I shifted more weight to the front. Now I'm noticing this leg a little more. Noticing the quad on the back leg a little more. Noticing my core pull in. Maybe I'm able to lift that heel up. So do you see how you are paying so much attention to all the muscles that are coming into play as you move? This is what we practice with our yoga practice. This is what we train the brain to do, to pay attention, to notice what we're doing, what we're using, where the tension is, where it shouldn't be. Maybe I can lift that leg up. Maybe I keep the toes close to the mat. Maybe I can lift it all the way up. Maybe I can come forward. Virabhadrasana 3, warrior 3. Relax through your head and neck. Remember, you don't need tension there. So as I lift and lengthen, I'm lifting through the arms, I'm reaching through fingers, softening through shoulders, relaxing through head and neck. Warrior 3. And then easing back up. Nice. Whatever you do, practice balance every day. Such an important thing. Come to the top of your mat. Bring the arms skyward, swan diving down. Uttanasana, forward fold, set one knee down and then the other. Maggie's going to come say hello to us. She's been sleeping up here like a sweet girl while we've been practicing. I have her on her leash so she can't come too much into our practice. So release your feet out from underneath you. And bring your feet in front of you, hip width apart. And then scoot your buttocks towards your heels as you ease onto your forearms. Okay. Take your right foot up in front on top of the other. Flex through that foot and press that knee away from you. So stretching through that piriformis, opening up that hip here. Nice. Maybe you're able to come up onto the hands, feeling that stretch a little deeper around that hip, drawing the navel back to the spine, lengthening through the arms. Same thing on the opposite side now. Maybe you're here, coming to stretch that piriformis, opening up here through the left leg now, and the left hip. Flexing through that foot. Tight through the core, drawing the navel down. Maybe you choose to come up a little more, a little deeper stretch, feeling this much more around that outer thigh. Nice. Releasing that leg down, extending those legs out in front of you, and bringing that arm, those arms up, folding forward, your forward fold, Paschimottanasana. Remember, when you fold forward, you're thinking of chest to upper thigh, so not nose to knee. So you think of keeping that back long and folding just like a folding table, right in two, from the crease of your legs. So your forward fold, breathing several cycles here, taking your time, never rush. Paschimottanasana. Take your next deep breath in and lift the arms skyward, and then slowly make your way down to the mat. Now, if it's too much to just slowly lengthen through the back and lower down, you can always bend through the knees and ease back this way, or you can actually rock back. So do what's best for your back. Never ever put strain on your back or anywhere. Bring the arms above the head, full body stretch here. Reaching the fingers out above the head, toes out beyond us. Nice stretch here. And then bring one knee in and then the other, give them a hug. Rock back and forth gently, get a nice little massage from your mat onto your back. And then slowly open the arms into T position. And allow the knees to flow to the left as your gaze floats to the right in your half spinal twist. Ardha Matsyendrasana. Use your core as you lift through the knees. So tighten through your core and lift the knees up and allow them to float over to the right, your gaze to the left. Breathe. Once again, tighten through the core, lift the knees up, give them one more hug. Hopefully not your last hug today. Thank you, Maggie. Nice, lengthening through your left leg, grab onto your right foot, pull it in, let your right knee flare out. Maybe you can grab to the outside of the leg. Stretching through the piriformis a little bit more here. If you don't like the upper body up here, you can relax your back and your head down. If you don't like to hover through the left leg, you can relax that down as well. Make this your practice. It's always your practice. Never push yourself. This is not a competition. There's no judgment. Make this your practice. Same thing on the opposite side now. Now I grab onto the foot. Maybe I'm just barely grabbing onto the foot. Maybe I just held onto the knee. But maybe I can wrap the arm under. Really opening up through that hip. Stretching that piriformis. Breathe. And release. Find your way to Shavasana. Let your body relax. Let your body fall into the position that it wishes to be in.
Starting to bring movement gently back into the body and having appreciation for movement. And having appreciation, especially from this practice for this evening, for those who are on the front lines, for those who give of themselves every day, selflessly, for those who are doing the good work and not becoming weary and not giving up. When you're ready, rotate onto one side or the other. Take a deep breath in, and as you breathe out, push with the opposite arm. Bring yourself up to that seated position where we all started just a little while ago. Always remember, we're on the same mat, we're in the same position, we're in the same place, but we're not the same. God gives us a new chance every day, and He wants you to remember when you wake up each morning and when you go to bed each evening, say to yourself, I will not grow weary, I will not give up, for I will reap a harvest because of my God, because my God cares for me, because my God hears me. He hears my prayers. Don't give up. We always end our practice with that simple salutation, namaste. It simply means the light and life in me honors and respects the light and life in each of you. In our Christian life, we believe that light to be Jesus Christ. I hope you felt the warmth of His presence, and I hope you're able to go out now and shine that light within you on others. Namaste.